You ever get that sinking feeling in your gut when the ground beneath Detroit starts to tremble, but nobody wants to look up and face what's coming? Like a storm brewing off the Motor City skyline, silent, urgent, and full of dread, but the roar hasn't hit yet? What happens when the very threads holding this Lions team together suddenly fray in front of your eyes, and the whispers behind closed doors hint at a fracture no one is ready to admit? Listen, I want you to lean into this with me. Fire up those comments if you believe the heart of Detroit beats too loud to be silenced now. Because what I'm about to share isn't just an injury update. It's a gut punch, a challenge, and maybe the crossroads for a young core that's been our last flickering hope for a breakout season. Insiders? They're not just whispering. They're holding their breath in silence, watching one name hover. Under a shadow darker than the Motor City night, Terrion Arnold. Yeah, the rookie cornerback. The 24th overall pick, who was thrown into the fire before summer even gave way to fall, is now limping through uncertainty after that frightening hamstring tendon injury in training camp. He dropped out early? No. Answers, just a cryptic post with a neutral face emoji, like he's hiding what he really feels, or maybe just doesn't know what's waiting down the line. When the Detroit Sports Podcast said he walked off confident, Arnold's reply was 2 red exclamation points, raw emotion or defiance. You decide. This isn't just about a player's health. This could unravel the entire Lions' defensive blueprint. Arnold was supposed to be the future, partnering with the veteran DJ Reed on a secondary that looked, for once, ready to hold the line and make plays. The promise was there? Yeah, the rookie year was rough, with blown coverages and penalties piling up like old wounds Detroit's carried for decades, but there was growth. 10 interceptions in the first season by a rookie corner said something loud and clear. This kid wasn't just a project. He was a spark with raw edges, but a spark nonetheless. Now, that spark is flickering on the edge of extinguishing, before it even got real hot. Remember, Detroit's not just any city. We're a city that's stared down heartbreak since '91, that's battled through the shadow of the Caldwell years and the endless drafts of promise that never fully ignited. We know what it means to rebuild, and even when the chips are down, we believe, because that's what Lions fans do. But there's a storm inside that locker room right now. 3 cornerbacks already sidelined. Arnold, the fresh wound, Amik Robertson. Missing time. Khalil Dorsey stuck on the physically unable list. It's like the defensive spine is cracking under pressure before the season has really started. And what if this tendon injury drags on? What if Detroit has to scramble, patching, to gather depth from the margins or the free agency bargain bin? What if this isn't just a setback, but a derailment of a defense that had hopes pinned on a youth movement? The drama escalates with every day without clear news, every game lost in the preseason when reps mattered the most. No new practice until August 3rd, and quiet from the front office leaves a deafening silence, a vacuum filled only with growing tension. What if this is the moment when the fragile momentum that gave fans hope shatters, forcing the Lions down a desperate path? Or, flip the coin, what if this injury forces the team to pivot, adapts, and ignites a run so fierce it turns the doubters into believers overnight? What if this is the crucible that forges a tougher, smarter, more resilient Lions defense that nobody saw coming? But here's the brutal truth we all dread. What if it's too late? What if Terrion Arnold's raw potential never fully finds its footing because the body won't cooperate? And if that domino falls, who else is left to step up? Because with the roster already thin at corner, with losses mounting before real battles have even begun, Detroit's secondary isn't just vulnerable, it's a ticking time bomb. And if that bomb goes off early in what was supposed to be our breakout year, well, you won't believe who's next. Detroit's grit runs deep, but this city has seen hope crushed before, and the silence that follows can be deafening. And now, this fuse has lit. This injury update isn't just a medical status. It's the opening act of a drama that will define the Lions' destiny this season. All we can do is wait, watch, and hope that when the smoke clears, Detroit doesn't just come back. We come for blood. Break the silence. Detroit, because if we don't rally now, we might never reclaim the roar that once defined us. I'm telling you, this isn't just an injury. It's a mockery of everything we fought for. A punch right to the gut that shakes the very foundation of Ford Field and every single fan who bleeds Honolulu blue. For years, we've danced on the edge of despair, standing shoulder to shoulder through 0 to 16 nightmares. Through the heartbreak of Calvin Johnson's early retirement, the ghost of Barry Sanders vanishing into twilight, and the cold reality of Dan Orlovsky's safety dose. Moments etched in our soul, fueling every comeback, every fight to rewrite our story. But now, with Terrion Arnold limping off the practice field, limping into what could be a season-defining nightmare, people are asking, is this the beginning of the end, or just another chapter in Detroit's battle to rise again? The locker room is awash with whispers. Some say it's the Achilles heel, the defense's fragile core, an injured Colt that needed the time, but now might be sacrificed on the altar of injury and desperation. Allen Park's quiet is deafening promises of depth shrouded by riddles. How do you replace a rookie who was supposed to be the spark, the long-term solution, the game changer? Every fan's mind drifts back to last season, when Jared Goff's arm found the magic, when the universe seemed to tilt in our favor after years of betrayal only to watch it slip away in the playoff clash. Heartbreak laced in every drop pass, every missed tackle. And now? Now I see the ghosts from our past, flickering again the injuries, the doubts, the disarray, and I wonder who's left to pick up the fallen. What happens when the defense, already battered by injuries to Amick Robertson, Khalil Dorsey, and now Arnold, faces a relentless NFC North? The Vikings, Bears, and Packers, they see this weakness growing, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. They know our bones are exposed, ready to be picked clean if we don't band together now. Fierce, unyielding, ready to fight a war that may determine the franchise's future. How much more can Detroit take? We survived the Caldwell fires, the stalled drafts, the false dawns that promised hope. We remember the flickering moments of glory when Amon-Ra St. Brown's rise kept us afloat, when that last-minute drive at Lambeau was a sign we might finally turn the tide. But this injury, this torn tendon, could unravel all of that in a heartbeat. It's a symbol of everything that's been wrong, a stark reminder that in Detroit, resilience isn't enough. We need fortitude, depth, and new heroes to step into the fire. Yet the front office remains silent, cloaked in shadows, no real updates, no contingency plans, just the ticking clock of August 3rd upon us like a countdown to chaos. Can we afford another setback, another freak accident in a season already teetering on the verge of collapse? Do we call in a veteran, throw money into the abyss, or hope that another young kid steps up? The specter of what-ifs looms large. What if Arnold's injury lingers? What if the secondary becomes a playground for rival offenses? We're staring into the abyss, and I ask you, are we brave enough? Or have we finally reached a point where Detroit's spirit, battered and bruised for decades, finally breaks? For good? Because every scar we wear, every heartbreak etched into our history buries escape, Calvin's farewell, Caldwell's sacking, last season's wild card collapse, reminds us that hope is the only thing that keeps us alive. And now? Now we face a new chapter, written in pain and uncertainty, where the very notion of reframing this franchise seems impossible without a miracle. But here's the truth that haunts me. What if Arnold's injury is just the beginning? What if, in trying to protect what remains, we lose what makes us us? A city of fighters, a city with grit that runs deeper than the Michigan soil, and yet the unanswered questions threaten to drown our hopes in darkness. Could this be our moment of reckoning? Or is this just the opening salvo in a season that could crush everything we believed in? The silence grows louder, the clock winds down, and like every Detroit story, every underdog tale, what's coming next will test our resolve, our grit, and our unyielding belief in the impossible. So I ask you, what will we do when the storm hits and Detroit's roar is silenced amid the chaos? Or will we rise from the rubble, fighters once more, ready to rewrite our destiny with blood, sweat, and the raw, unbreakable heart of Detroit?